Hello, everyone. Welcome to TV Literate, a podcast that unapologetically enjoys trashy TV. I'm Gillian.
And I'm Megan.
Hell yeah.
We're here.
Hello, and hell yeah.
How are you, Gillian?
I'm good. Just vibing, you know.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
living in a very red state right now, so just living in the house a lot.
Exactly. Just hanging out at home with my dogs and my husband and,
Becoming slightly more concerned about the mailman sneezing on my mail or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's a great time to be alive, isn't it?
Yes, it is. How are you, Megan?
I more or less the same. Just trying to make it through.
Yeah. I mean, at least we both have pretty much dry basements.
That is true, which was
I
not
did see
true.
that you have plants in your basement, too.
We do. We have some plants that have sprouted from birdseed because, let's see, was that last week? God, it's been a long couple of weeks. Last week, we had a bad flooding incident in our basement because of storm. Mm-hmm. And thankfully, yeah, we're dry, but there are some little sprouties, but that's okay.
They're very cute.
Cute
little sprouties. Your little chia pet.
Exactly. It's like a homemade, it was from just birdseed that happened to get wet. And now there's like a little colony.
Man, it's like nature finds a way.
I know, right? Nature perseveres. So what have you been watching lately?
Well, we went back to Star Trek Voyager because we need a soothing show to have in between other shows. We've been keeping up on 9 Perfect Strangers, which is just getting more crazy, and I'm loving it.
I am halfway through the book. I decided I'm going to read the book, and I'm halfway through the book, and I really am enjoying the book so far. So I'm going to finish it, and then Kyler and I are going to watch it together, hopefully very soon, and I'm very excited.
I'm so excited for you. I think I'm going to read the book after the series ends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because now I'm too invested to get spoiled. I'm like, oh, but I don't want to know.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like you got to commit to one all the way through first, and then you can get into the other one. But the book's good so far.
Yes. It's a very twisty-turny little story, and a good one for right now since we all kind of feel like we need to go on a mental health retreat.
Definitely. Definitely.
Other than that, I already talked about I started Naked and Afraid of Love last week.
Right.
Still crazy, still fun.
Good.
I don't know. I don't think we've been watching much else. There's been a lot of fucking football on, so I've listened to a lot of books lately.
Nice.
So
yeah,
football season.
Fun.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
So this has been like a pure unadulterated trash week for me in terms of my viewing. So the first thing that I watched that I feel like a lot of people are watching because it just came out on Hulu is Wife Swap. Which is incredible. Just like even better than I remember it being, honestly. It's just truly a commentary on how fucking crazy people can be because holy shit. And they always choose like obviously like the most extreme opposites that they can, but it's always in a case to where like both families are totally nuts. Like neither one is right. You're both crazy.
Yeah, but you're like, we're putting you together to try and even both of you out, not because we think either one of you is right.
Yeah, exactly. It's just absolute craziness, but it's hilarious, and people end up punching each other at the end, and it's fun.
So I used to watch that when I was younger, and I got so stressed out by having to like swap moms. I was like, I don't want someone else's mom coming in and being mean to me.
No, I would hate it so much. I would not do well in that situation at all. I do feel very bad for the kids, but it is entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. And I mean, they're all like adults now. They probably have had therapy already. So.
Well, you would hope. But yeah, it's also very funny too because it's all from like 2005 and 6. So it's very much like a thing of its time. Like a lot of, first of all, a lot of the things they say and talk about are definitely like not okay anymore, but just like also the fashion and stuff and like the technology it just brings me right back. So that's been fun. And then the other trash we've been watching on like a completely different note is we watched all 5 Final Destination movies.
Oh, I did that a couple years ago.
Holy shit. I mean, I've seen them all before. Some of them.
But yeah, one after the other.
God damn.
There's so much.
They are so much, but I mean, just like the best trash. Just if you just
Oh,
want to
yeah.
see the most brutal, insane deaths of
Yeah.
fictional characters, like that's basically all the movie is good for.
Yeah, it's like no plot. It's just the plot is death is coming for you.
Yeah, and it's unavoidable. No matter what you think you're gonna do to death, you're gonna die. So just accept it.
They can't. They're gonna sit in that fucking 2-person table right by the window and not expect a car to crash through it.
Exactly. Like, come on now.
I mean, they're driving behind logging trucks on a regular basis.
I know.
Even before Final Destination movies, like, fuck that. That log could come off and just...
Yeah, no way. But yeah, even before it was scary, but now every time I see one of those, my first thought is Final Destination.
Oh, God. It's like that and in Firefly when Wash gets hit by the, like, pole through him. Every time I see a truck carrying poles, I'm just like...
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's been fun. I enjoyed watching them, and I think that's kind of like a good segue into my, like, it's time for horror movies and scary slasher things. It's like a good let's initiate me into that bloody horror fest.
Have you been watching the new American Horror Story?
I have not watched it.
It's good. It's a lot. It's very extra. But yeah, we watched that. It's very American Horror Story.
Yeah,
Let's just say that.
Yeah. I haven't watched. I've only seen like a couple of seasons of American Horror Story. It just really depends on the season for me whether or not I like
too. Everyone likes the first season. That's like the witch house or whatever, Coven, and I've never made it through. I feel really bad.
Watched it when it came out, and I mean I liked it, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It's weird as hell. It's a weird show. It's fucking Ryan Murphy, so of course it's weird.
Yeah, this season is basically about washed up writers from New York City who go to coastal towns and wreak havoc. Okay,
I can get behind that.
It's an interesting plot.
Yeah, it is. That is quite interesting, but yeah, it could go any way.
Mm-hmm. I'm just so excited for spooky season. It's been cool here for like 2 days. I know we're supposed to get another little bit of summer, but like,
it's like a little
so
taste.
Close.
I know. I'm feeling it in my bones, and I'm ready for it.
I'm so ready. Like, I've literally had all the windows open in the mornings.
I know.
It's 56 outside.
It's been 56. So nice. Yeah. God, I'm so ready for summer to die.
I know, and we're just getting more summer. Why couldn't we have like thrown ourselves as a species into a global ice age or something? Like, yeah, I could deal with that better.
Same, probably. Honestly, yeah, not into this global warming thing.
No,
it's not cool.
Not great. 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, we don't recommend. All right, so let's get into our show for today. We are going to finish up season 5 of Bringing Up Bates. And we have some exciting stuff to talk about today, don't we?
Unfortunately, no one set a house on fire.
I know. It does feel like a little bit of a anticlimactic compared to the middle of the season where we had the random house fire that nobody was expecting.
Yeah, a child trying to dehouse everyone.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
NBD.
So the first episode we're going to talk about today is called Bike Racks, Barbers, and Big Duets.
I had to dance to that one. It's got a good flow.
Yeah, it does. It flows very
good,
nice.
Fundy flow. That's the new name of it. Fundy flow.
The Fundy flow. Oh, I hate that. Okay. I mean, I like it, but I hate it. That's
hate it it's gross, and I hate it, but that's why it's good.
Exactly. You get me. Okay, so Lawson is performing another show in Mount Airy, North Carolina, which is where Andy Griffith is from.
Mm-hmm. The real Mayberry. That's their tourist call.
I really am not gonna pretend that I don't really know a lot about Andy Griffith.
I don't either. I know. Okay. I've seen like a couple episodes of the Andy Griffith show because like some of them are like played for Christmas or played at Thanksgiving or whatever. But yeah, I don't know anybody in my age demographic who has watched Andy Griffith a lot.
My husband.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's like, I love Andy Griffith, and he can't believe that I don't. And I'm like, babe, I was born in 1992. There was like Rugrats and shit to watch. Like, why would I watch Andy Griffith when I could watch Doug Funny?
Yeah, why? I mean, especially, like, why would I watch black and white when I can watch color?
That is the real bottom line thing for me too. I really, really struggle with watching anything black and white, and I wish it wasn't
Me
true, but it
too.
is.
It's so bad for me. It's harder than subtitles for me because, like,
Oh
I'll get
yeah.
distracted with subtitles where I'll just be reading the subtitles and not watching anything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, man, black and white, I'm just like, this isn't a movie. It's just a picture.
Yeah, I can adjust to subtitles usually, but I can't like it's very distracting to me. I don't know. I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not bashing Andy Griffith.
No,
you know,
not
whatever.
at all. I just wanted to put that out there first because I feel like every time I've ever brought up the fact that I don't really know Andy Griffith, I've been like really attacked, and I was afraid that was going to happen again today.
God,
but this is a safe space.
Okay, I'll also say I've never seen an episode of the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
I don't think I have either.
I did like I Love Lucy.
Yeah, I've seen I Love Lucy. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick at Night was good, and it was funny. Mm-hmm. Like.
Yeah,
easy,
I watched like Brady Bunch and shit on Nick at Night all the time.
Hell yeah, Brady Bunch.
I loved Brady Bunch. Anyway, okay, back to the Bates.
The Brady Bunch is just the Platts.
It really is. Fuck. So, like I said, Lawson is performing a show in Mount Airy, and so while he is there before the show, he is going to promote his show at a local radio station. Yeah, it was this, I don't know.
This whole section was just so awkward because, like, they're all like, oh, it's like Mayberry, which is, like, set in the 50s and 60s as far as I know. And, like, they're like, look at all this old equipment. All your stuff looks old. It looks like it's straight out of the 50s. And it's just like, you guys, it's just a regular, like, radio show. Yeah. It was very awkward. No one really knew how to deal with each other.
It was a very awkward, like, these people are all, like, kind of a little socially awkward and don't know how to act, especially in front of camera.
Yeah. And especially with Lawson just being Lawson.
Exactly, yeah. I loved it when they first walked into the radio station and Lawson was talking about how, like, nice it is and they have, like, a beautiful view. And the guy at the radio station was like, we love it up here. This is God's country.
All right.
What does that even mean? Like, isn't all of the world supposed to be, like, God's?
Mm-mm. They're specifically blessed God zones.
Oh, and Mount Airy, North Carolina is one of them.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Good to know.
It's really funny, though, because my parents live in North Carolina, and so we drive through Mount Airy quite a bit, and there's a mountain nearby. I can't remember which one it's called, but it looks like a boob. Like, it has a nipple on top and everything.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's really funny. I bet Lawson's like, nice view you got there.
I think that's called Mount Boob.
Yeah. I call it Top Mountain when we go by.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, yeah, Lawson promotes his show. Emily Ann is actually going to be performing with him at this show, which is exciting. Very exciting. So
exciting. Because now he doesn't have to tell his sister that he loves her in a romantic way.
I watched this episode with Kyler, which is why I talked about the Andy Griffith part, because he was talking to me about it, and he was, like, mad at me because I didn't know any of it. Yeah. And then he was like, when I was watching this, I was like, what if I told you that his sister filled in for her when they were, this was when they were performing, and he just gave me a look like, that's a joke, right? And I was like, no, his sister did fill in for her.
Yeah. I think they just sang the Jesus song and not the I'll Love Again song. I hope so, but God. They may have just cut that for time or cringe.
I don't know. It was just, God. Anyway, so he promotes his show. He does a pretty decent job on the radio, I suppose, for, you know, he gets through it at least.
He had to, like, say his name and say that he had a show that night.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Tell what song he wanted to play. It was, he was doing on AM 740.
Yeah, exciting. I'm sure a ton of people heard it. So we get some flashbacks to the Bates house, too. And a big problem that happens at the Bates house is the bike situation. It just makes everything horrible because the kids will just, like, drive up their bikes to the front yard and just, like, leave them haphazardly thrown about.
Trucks that run them over, vans that run them over. They keep having to buy new bikes.
Just not a good situation. So what do you got to do? You got to get a bike rack. And it's like, like, you probably should have thought of that.
But when you're a Bates, what do you got to do? You're not behind a bike rack.
Oh, hell no. You got to make it out of a tree. You got to you got to fucking carve it out of a log.
Yeah, you got to do a trunk bike rack.
Oh, yeah, this we saw this part. Like, we had just finished watching Final Destination when I saw this part, and all of the tree logs there were just like making me nervous, and I was like
I
waiting
know.
for something awful to happen and one of them to horrifically die, and I was like, no, this is Up TV. That is not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. Worst that's gonna happen is Gil's gonna get like a 3-inch fucking splinter in his arm.
Oh God, not again, not again.
Oh, I know, but he was like cutting out those little slots in the log, and I was like, he's gonna hit his hand or like go through and hit his leg. Like I was just ready for chainsaw destruction too.
Yeah. I'm always ready for some type of horrific accident to happen because
I mean,
they're always just steps away from something horrible happening.
They did have a child fall off into a seawall thing at one point in time. So
yeah, and have a brain bleed. No big deal.
God, right? Yeah.
So yeah, they make their little bike rack out of their log. It turns out fine. It works good. They show a clip of all of the bikes like put on the bike rack at the end, and holy shit, the amount of bikes, it's like more than a Walmart has to sell. Like, holy shit.
I mean, if they didn't live in the boonies, they'd have like half that amount of bikes because people would steal them.
True. Yeah, nobody's coming out there.
No, maybe one bike that they'll steal to get away from them.
That's fair.
The prisoners in the basement. They all have to have a dark secret.
Yeah, exactly. So back in Mount Airy, Lawson and Nathan go to Floyd's barbershop, which is famous from Andy Griffith's show, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, which again, it's wild. Like he walks in there and he's like, Floyd! And he's like, no, I'm Floyd Jr., but also his name was Russell. I'm just like, yeah, they don't understand that TV is not real.
Yeah, they don't. Which, I mean, they probably don't watch that much TV. Like, Andy Griffith's show is probably one of the only shows that they are allowed to watch.
God.
So, yeah, they probably just think it's all, like, real life. But, yeah,
Man,
no. Not only is it not real...
Oh, go.
I was going to say, not only is it not real life, but it's also, like, from a long time ago. So, things are different now.
Yeah, like, Floyd's probably dead.
Yeah.
But, like, do you think that when they move out, they, like, get cable and watch regular TV now? Like,
well, I think they said that part of the reason why some of the kids like to go to Zach and Whitney's house is because they have a TV. But I think I think they just watch movies, though. I don't know if they have cable. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't, but at the same time, I guess they're probably just like so used to not having it, and like they think that they shouldn't have it, so they don't get it. Like,
no, it's just so weird to me, like not to like have a TV to like watch the news at night or like do stuff like that. Like, I don't know.
Right, I know.
It's weird.
It is weird. It's all very strange.
Very insulated. After the barbershop, they had this dude come in who was like, hey, I got an old Mayberry squad car. You want to come and tour the town with it? And so they say yes, obviously.
This is how you get murdered, though, by the way. Just, like, don't say yes to something like that if you're not part of a TV show and it's not planned. It was very obvious that it was supposed to look like this guy just, like, walked in, but it was planned. Yeah. But, like, I was like, that's not a safe thing. Like, don't accept rides with strangers.
Exactly. I know, I was like, this guy's gonna, like, take you there and, like, lock you in the jail forever.
Exactly. So yeah, they go on a little like tour of the area, and they go to the sheriff's office, which is all set up like it is on the Andy Griffith show, and all that fun stuff.
I think it's even called the Mayberry Courthouse. Like it's just like a prop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, tourism.
Yeah, sure, whatever. You might as well. You like soak it all in if you can. I mean, what else does this place have to offer? Let's be honest.
Exactly. Other than a boob mountain, it only has Andy Griffith.
Right, so, the Boob Mountain and Andy Griffith. Honestly, it's not too bad. So the family gets to Mount Airy right as Lawson and Nathan are wrapping up their tour. And Lawson starts to get everything set up for his show. And of course, there's a lot of rushing going on. They're running late. There hasn't been like any rehearsing happening yet.
I know. Just the amount of how they like never play together except for at shows is wild to me.
I know. Like my brother is in a band, and they're not even like, they do mostly like cover songs. They do some original, but it's mostly cover songs, and they rehearse all the time, like several times a week, and they don't even play at shows like that often. Like it's just what bands do. Like that's most of the band is rehearsal and like
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 90% is like the creative part and like learning how to play the songs and whatever,
Right.
and then like 10% is the performing of it.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
you got to do that 90% to get that good 10%.
Right. So yeah, the sound check, of course, is going rough. And there are tons of people waiting to come in, but it's like freezing outside, so it's just like not a great situation.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. It's a cute little theater. I'll say that for it.
Yeah.
It's a cute little theater. I love little theaters with like the
I do
marquee
too.
out front and like the cute little seats and everything. Like the Keith Albee and the one in Ashland where they do the train and tree thing. Both of those are good.
Yeah, no, I love theaters like this too. It's nice. So yeah, Lawson is nervous as hell, and they say that they think he's more nervous because he's performing with Emily Ann this time, so he feels like he's got to really bring it.
Yeah. God, imagine if Lawson did something so bad in his show that he like ruined Emily Ann's career, like she went viral. The voice singer on stage with Trash Man.
Honestly, that might be good for her career though, because I was reading her Wikipedia page last night, and I didn't read like all of the little like drop down parts, but like the main section, the last line of it was her full album is expected to come out sometime in 2019.
Oops.
I don't know how great things are going for Emily Ann right now. Maybe she could use a little bit of publicity.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe she went fundy and got married and now she can't sing anymore.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know.
Tennessee is a dangerous place.
Yeah. But Lawson gets through his songs, and Emily comes out and does her songs with him. And I feel like when it's Emily and Lawson performing, it's definitely like Emily's song, and then Lawson's just like in the background.
Because he doesn't have nearly as strong a voice as her.
Exactly.
She'll be like belting out this whole huge thing, and he'll be like, "I love you, game."
Yeah. She has a very powerful, strong voice, and he just does not. So it's kind of. It just exemplifies that even more. It really shows that.
I watched these episodes with Chris too, so we now have officially inculcated them into the Bates plan. But yeah, he's like, this person is trying to be like a professional singer. I'm like, yeah, he's been doing it for 2 years now too.
It's not like somebody you would go see or buy their album.
Yeah, he can hold a tune. He's not like Toby Keith or. I don't know. Is Toby Keith good at singing? I feel like Toby Keith must be good at singing because I know
famous.
his name.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like I know Toby Keith's song, but I'm not like, wow, that man can't sing. So
yeah. But hey, at least he didn't forget the lyrics this time. So there's that. He's improving. So there's that.
And yeah, it was a free concert this time though, so there was. That's interesting.
Yeah,
to me.
though he does sell merch. Did you see the merch that he was selling? He had like a Lawson Bates T-shirt and like some stuff that he was selling there, and yeah.
Oh my god.
So
that's amazing, man. There were so many fangirls there, and it was upsetting. Like people were there lining up at 2:00 for a 7:00 show for Lawson Bates.
I know that is upsetting for sure, but I guess there are people for everyone. I don't know.
Yeah, Lawson won't date any of them. Takes stuff he want to date.
No, he's married to his music, Gillian.
Himself, more likely Narcissus.
Exactly. That's yeah. All right, so the next episode is called Mass of Something.
The best part about that is that they never even said Mass of Something in the episode.
No, they didn't. It was just like they just made it up. They couldn't think of a better. Yeah, I was expecting it to be like one of the kids being like, "We're in Mass of Something," but nope, nobody says anything like that.
But Mass of Nuttin is a hell of a name.
Hell of a name for sure. So the Bates are in Massanutten Ski Resort in Virginia, and they are going on their first ski trip. Kelly talks a little bit about how a lot of especially the older kids or the older boys have expressed a lot of interest in skiing and snowboarding, but it's a very expensive thing to do, and you can't do that when you have 19 kids to pay for.
God. I know. I was thinking like when they were renting the skis, I was like, this is like $200 a person.
I know. I'm sure that Up Faith and Family is helping pay for some of it. But yeah, like I can't imagine how expensive. Like that's expensive as hell for like a family of 4 to do. Imagine multiplying that 5 times.
God, and then they all brought friends and shit too.
Yeah. Bobby came to be with Tori. Yep. Evan came to be with Carlin, which we'll get into Evan and Carlin in a little bit. And then a bunch of like other friends met up too. So yeah, it was just like it was like a million people.
So they are there and they have an appointment for their ski lessons. So they've got to get everybody out of the house like on a timely manner. Yeah. So everyone's basically just screaming at everyone else, get out, man, here, you gotta wear more layers.
I think that the chaos that must happen every time the Bates have to leave the house is so stressful to me. I could not do it.
No, I hate it. It's way too much. And also, I would like to say I really fucking hate Gil in a turtleneck. Like, we see it on occasion, and when it's a white turtleneck, it's even worse.
It is weird. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me.
He kind of reminds me of, like, the old wrestling coach at my high school, but, like, the old wrestling coach was, like, nice, and Gil's, like, kind of weird. But it's just, like, a weird, like, variety of dad that you just can't trust.
That is true, yeah. The turtleneck dad is a certain type of dad.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like it's a thing.
It is a thing, yeah. That's a good point. We'll have to think more about the turtleneck dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up other turtleneck dads.
Exactly. So, while they're all like scrambling to get going, Michael texts Kelly and tells her about a story that she read where a mom and a child fall to their death from a ski lift because they didn't have the bar pulled down. Yeah, the first bar of all. But and so Kelly's like, oh, that's it. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna fall out of the ski lift and die. I'm gonna watch all of my kids plummet to their deaths today.
This was the first time that I ever had like a suspicious feeling about Michael because like why would you text that to your mom?
Yeah, that is a good question. Like especially like she knew that was something that would make her mom anxious.
Freak out. Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't
know. Maybe after the trip be like, oh, I'm glad you guys had a fun time because I heard about this, you know, maybe. But like
I'm sure they asked them to go. So when they asked them to go, probably a week or two before, then tell the story or something. Be like, be careful, you know, ski lifts can be dangerous. I read the story about a lady and her kid falling out and dying.
But not like while they're on their way right before.
Yeah. It feels, I don't know, manipulative or something.
It was weird. I agree. I was like, why would you say that? Anyway, the family makes it to their ski lessons on time, miraculously. And they kind of break up into like the adults learning skiing, the adults learning snowboarding, and then like the kids all learn skiing together as well. But they were able to do the lessons like in groups, which was nice. Yeah. At least they signed up for lessons. Remember Joy and Austin on their honeymoon when they just
were like, teach us how to ski? Can you, person skiing down here, would you teach us?
Like,
no.
No.
It was cute. I love seeing little kids ski. Like it was a thing that I love to see in Colorado because they're like so good at it.
Yeah,
they got
Judson.
That like freaky little body, and they don't need the poles. They just like whip their little arms around, and I don't know. They have so much energy.
Yeah, and they have like kids' bodies are just so like flexible, and they just like move in ways that adult bodies can't move. Yeah. So it was cute to watch the little kids for sure. And the next morning, the family, after they learned to ski, the family decided they were going to go tubing, which this is definitely more my speed.
Oh, yeah, me too. I fucking love tubing. I was sitting there, yeah, tubing.
I've never been tubing before, like on snow at least, so.
Oh, shit. We got to go when it's less pandemic-y out.
That's the hope, yeah. We'll see if we ever get there. But it was nice. It was like a huge hill. They all went down together. It was nice. It was a beautiful family moment.
Yeah, everyone was yodeling. Nobody got yeeted.
Nobody got yeeted, but Judson did say that it hurt his high knee, which is good.
It did. Because he was falling in the hole. So his ass was just dragging the whole time.
It happens.
I love how the other one was like, why didn't you just do this? And like flattened his body on the couch. I'm like, yeah, this is children.
Yeah, that's how they work. So Nathan ends up coming in the day after everyone else because he was working on his commercial pilot's license, whatever. So Kelly was basically in charge of teaching Nathan because he didn't get lessons, which is like not great because Kelly was not great.
She's not a good skier. She's not a confident skier. You gotta get like Trace or Lawson or Josie or Carlin to teach them. Not him.
Kelly. Well, also Kelly was just like, I think she was probably really distracted because she was like watching all her kids while she was learning too. So she's probably not the best to ask to do this. But thankfully Nathan catches on quick and doesn't like die. So
yeah, even though he kind of tried because he tried to go down the block diamond.
Happens. I feel like that's just Nathan for you.
Yes. If it was not him, it would have been Warden.
Yeah, definitely.
They FaceTime Alyssa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's
about they're all going to Florida. Yeah, she's 9 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Ready for that baby to get got.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like teasing her about how they're going to bring the whole family and So okay, God. I can't imagine having a baby like and then having to like
host 20 people.
Yeah, no thank you.
Hard pass. We do finish up this episode with the best Gil quote, I think, of this batch, which is, Massa Nuttin is going to get a Massa Bates.
Hell yeah. The family do one last run down the mountain together. Kelly made it without falling at all. Everyone was so proud. And it was, Massa Bates going down the hill.
Massa Bates. It was truly a mass of something.
It really was. All right, moving on. Episode 3 for today is called Working Up an Appetite.
We're back to this fucking basketball court.
I know, I was telling Kyler that like these really simple projects that are supposed to be like one episode, like one-off things like this, like the fucking swing set they made.
Oh my God.
They go over so many episodes and it takes so much longer always. And this was one of their better projects too, in terms of like the time it took to complete. The concrete slab is all done for the basketball court. But now, of course, they need a basketball hoop.
Which they keep calling a basketball goal. And I don't understand.
Like, that's not, I mean, I understand what that means, but that's not what we call them. I don't think. I was confused by that too. Like
maybe it's like a thing? Like maybe it's a regional thing? Someone needs to tell us. It says, firstly, there's no major difference between hoops or goals. When basketball is the subject, a basketball hoop or goal is basically the orange rim that houses the scores of a particular game.
Okay. So I guess it's just whatever you're used to calling it. Yeah. I'm going to say hoop because that's what I call it.
Me too.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're in agreement. We're a hoop. This is a basketball hoop podcast, y'all. You heard it here first.
We got hoops and scoops.
So, basically, it was just kind of sad to watch them putting this together because there was like 10 boys all together to put this basketball hoop, and it was just it seemed a lot more complicated than it needed to be.
Yeah, like I would read the instructions, which they kind of half did. But of course Lawson did it because Lawson doesn't want to get dirty or do work. So he can't help even though he's larger and stronger than the like 10-year-old.
Yeah, it was just kind of a clusterfuck, but Lawson leads by reading the instruction and
compares himself to General Patton.
Yeah.
At one point, he's like, he wasn't out there having a huddle. He just yells the orders. And it's like, okay, buddy, but you're all working together on this project. So you all know the instructions. So you know what you're doing.
And also, like, it's just you reading the instructions. It's not like you're coming up with these orders and, like, strategizing. Like, you're reading instructions from a book.
Yeah, sir, this is not a military installation. This is just a hoop.
A basketball goal.
A basketball goal. A goal. A goop.
A goop.
A hole.
A
hole.
I mean, the hole makes sense.
HOAL. Thank you very much.
So, of course, they don't get it all done, and they just like leave it like the part that they got done. They just leave it laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And go inside with like really no explanation for anything.
They're just like, we're just cold, and it has taken 4 hours so far. And you're like, yeah, because you put it together wrong 6 times already, I'm sure.
Yeah. Maybe also just like there were too many people helping. Like
Yeah.
when there are so many people like that, that becomes a detriment rather than a help. You need like 2 or 3 people working on it.
Like it should have been like Gil, Lawson, Nathan, Trace.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. Perfect. But whatever.
Had to have some little boys.
So, the other part of this episode, Carlin and Josie are getting their wisdom teeth out, which is always a fun storyline in anything, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I hated when Carlin was talking about how she was happy that they were getting them out during Christmas break because it meant that they would eat less around Christmas.
I know. I was like, ew. Like, that's when you don't want it to do it because this is the time to eat the yummy, good foods.
Yeah. I was like, that's some disordered eating thinking.
Nothing
right
tastes
there.
as good as skinny feels.
No, thank you.
Get that shit out of here. Food's good for
you. Yeah, for my soul at least. Actually, well, also for your body.
Yes. You do need it to survive.
You do. You heard it here first. So Carlin gets her wisdom teeth out first, and Gil brings her home while Josie is getting hers out. And goddamn, she was high as hell.
Holy shit. Yeah, she was like rolling around in the front of that van, just being like, I feel great. And then making herself bleed.
Yeah, making herself bleed. Did you notice too that when Gil was helping her out of the car, it like pulled down her dress a little bit and they blurred her bra strap?
They did. They blurred like the 1 inch between her clavicle and her edge of her shoulder or whatever. I don't even know. It was so wild.
I was like, what the fuck? And also, that brought more attention to it. Like, if you would have just not blurred anything, nobody would have noticed that there was like a tiny bit more skin showing than needed to be. But like, the blurring made it so obvious.
You know, well, she is inebriated, so apparently that makes her even sexier.
Oh god, ew.
Gross.
Ew.
I'm so sorry.
I hate that.
Yeah. I know. I hate that too. I'm so sorry I said it, but also men are gross. So I understand kind of the impulse behind it, even if I don't understand the practice of it.
Men are gross. That is the truth. So Carlin tries to walk inside, but she fails, so Gil has to carry her.
Yeah, literally throws her over his shoulder because she doesn't want to be carried, but she can't walk.
Yeah. She gets inside, and like we said, she's been like talking and screaming, which is not helping the mouth
stitches
situation
in the back of your mouth.
Right. And so she's bleeding a lot, and she says when she gets in the house, my mouth is bleeding and I'm happy. Which I just thought that was a good quote.
Yeah. It's a vibe. So Gil goes to get like gauze and stuff for her and puts it in her mouth and gives her a stern talking to about not talking because she's gonna rip her stitches. And so of course Carlin immediately goes to the other end of inconsolable sobbing.
Yeah, like, you're mad at me, don't be mad at me, which is like, that would be me probably too, honestly,
oh yeah,
because
I mean
that's me.
When I got my wisdom teeth out, I tried to crawl out of the car on a highway, so I was like, I kept like moving. I like couldn't stop moving my body. I don't know. It was one of those like weird things where I was just like, I have to move. And so I like tried to get in between the windshield and the dashboard, and my mom said no. And so then I tried to open the door on the highway, and she just had to like pull off at the next exit and like lock me in.
Like a child.
Yeah, I was having a moment, but
I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah, shit happens.
So finally Josie also makes it home, and she has a lot more like bruising and swelling and stuff, but she doesn't seem quite as loopy as Carlin, at least.
She just was sacked out. Like they had to carry her in like a little like bride over the doorstep.
Yeah, she was just like really tired and just needed to sleep, which is mood.
Yeah, yeah. It sucks. I hate wisdom teeth.
I still have mine, and I probably will not get them out unless they become like an issue. I have probably the world's biggest mouth. Like, all of my wisdom teeth are at least somewhat in, and I still have room for like a whole other tooth back there. Like, I have such a big... Yeah, like I've gotten... Whenever I got like x-rays and stuff at the dentist, they were always like, I mean, There's space back there, so as long as they don't bother you, if they don't, I don't need it. So I still have mine.
I had enough space, but all of mine were coming in behind my other teeth.
Oh, so. Yeah. See, mine all are like pretty much just like another tooth right after.
You could like gnaw through like a chipmunk or something.
I know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm wiser than you. Sorry.
That's probably true.
I'm just kidding.
You are. You have 4 head rocks more than
4 more head rocks than you. What are you going to do about it?
I've only got 32 head rocks. You've got 36.
Ha ha. Okay, so we're on day 2 of the basketball hoop saga installation. And like this is a project that should take like, I don't know, an hour or so. And it's taken 2 full days. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it's just like there's a mess when I'm trying to get the one part of the hoop into the part on the base. Yeah. And it kept like falling and hitting Gil on the head. And it's like, there are like 12 people out here. Why can't one person just be in charge of like yelling when it's about to hit Gil in the head?
Yeah. Or like one big person's job is to just hold the thing and then confirm with the other person when they say, all right, let it go. And you say, okay, let it go. And they say, let it go. Instead of, oh, could you move it a little to the right? Let it go. Ah!
It's just really bad project planning, like just not good. But they do get it done, so at least there's that. At least they finally completed this.
Yeah. My favorite part was at the very end of this basketball saga, where Zach is like, well, I'm impressed. They've got a cement pad, a court, a hoop, and a working basketball all at once.
yeah, that is very good for the Bates. That's
that's true. That's 3 items that they have to like make happen to make a game happen.
I know. That's good job. It doesn't matter how long it takes. They got it.
You've done one thing. You did a good job.
So then the rest of this episode is just a giant Cracker Barrel ad.
Yeah, it was.
Like literally a Cracker Barrel ad.
It looked good. I was definitely like here for a little Cracker Barrel.
Pretty fucking good. Let's be real.
Especially if you don't have to sit in a Cracker Barrel for it.
Truth, yeah.
Cracker Barrel is always so overstimulating and like big.
It is.
I don't know.
It
too
is.
much stuff.
I agree.
Too many.
It's a lot, but the food's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you can't really like fuck up mashed potatoes. You just keep putting the cream and this butter in there, and they'll be fine.
Oh, country cooking, baby.
Mm.
So yeah, Kelly didn't have some time to make dinner, so she picks up Cracker Barrel for everyone, and they go shopping while they wait for their food, and it's a big, like, oh my god, look at all the amazing things Cracker Barrel has to offer.
We love the Cracker Barrel meals to go. Country meals to go.
Yeah, and then did you notice they just kept fucking piling on the big, huge boxes that they were bringing home with them? They brought 4 of these huge boxes that were like all a person could carry.
Like the printer paper boxes, but a little bigger.
Yeah, like just huge boxes. And this is all just like a normal family dinner. Like this is not an occasion or anything. This is just dinner.
Yeah,
Tuesday night.
Just food. I know.
Anyway, they have the whole family over and they have their dinner.
Yep, it's the first big meal since the fire. That's the only occasion, I guess.
Cracker Barrel.
Get that Cracker Barrel for that fire barn.
Fire barn?
Fire farmhouse? I don't know. That one's not coming.
So while they eat dinner, they kind of are talking about logistics as well, because Gil and Kelly are going out of the country soon. And so some of the kids are staying with Michael, and Aaron and Chad are watching the other ones. And it's like, it fucking must suck just to like, because you have to just constantly like be watching your siblings, you know? It's like, ugh.
But I guess what the fuck else you're gonna do if you can't have a job as a lady?
Yeah,
like,
I guess, but it's just...
I know, it's so weird. And it's weird that, like, you have Jeb, who's, like, 5 or 6, and then they have, like, a 2-year-old.
Yeah, it is weird. It's just such a strange dynamic, and it just does not, I don't know, it just feels like it would be so depressing.
Yeah, you just never get to escape, and I honestly think that's why Alyssa moved.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Michael moved for Brandon, but I think Alyssa was like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Which mood.
Yeah, huge. No, thank you. I would not want to be the oldest child in one of these families. Not the oldest girl child.
Hell no. So this kind of moves perfectly into the next episode, which is called The Cubs Land in Chicago.
You see what they did there? Chicago
Do you
Cubs.
get it?
Do you get it?
Because the Chicago Cubs and then Cubs and kid. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So apparently Gil and Kelly are in New Zealand and Australia, which why don't we get to see any of that? Is that going to be on the next season maybe? Who knows?
Maybe it'll be next season.
Because I'd rather see that than this, but that's okay. A bunch of the little boys are, or I guess all of the younger boys are staying with Michael and Brandon. There are 5 of them. And the first clip that we get of them is like a clip of all 5 boys just sleeping on the floor in this tiny ass room, and it made me so claustrophobic. And I'm not even that claustrophobic.
Well, and like it was 5 little boys in the front room, and then they have like a bathroom in their bedroom, and the kitchen's attached to the front room. Like they just filled up their entire house with just boy children. That
is not a big enough space to be able to be like, yeah, I could watch 5 of your kids at my house.
Oh, yeah. But she said she wanted all of the little kids to come stay at her house.
And her mom was like, you can have half.
Yeah, thank God. Someone has a tiny amount of sense.
Yeah. But, yeah, Michael and Brandon have set a strict bedtime of them from 9:30 p.m. and they have to be up by 7, which is like a lot for the Bates, which would be a lot for me too.
Yeah. Sure.
And, you know, I don't know.
She makes them breakfast in the morning with crepes, and everyone's like, ew, and I'm like, it's literally a skinny pancake around more sugar and fruit.
They were so confused by crepes, and it's literally just like a light pancake.
Yeah. It's just more topping, less pancake.
Yeah. They looked really good too. Like I wanted some of those crepes.
Oh yeah. I could do a crepe.
Yeah, definitely.
I can eat a crepe if I want to.
Love that. Okay. Yeah, they all were acting like it was a brand new thing that like Brandon came up with crepes, and it's like, no, guys,
these exist elsewhere. Well, and like my favorite was when I think it was Warden, but it may have been one of the other older-ish boys. But he's like, I'm gonna take one bite and just see how it is, and I'm like, You're gonna take a bite of like whipped cream and strawberry with like a tiny bit of pancake, and you're like, I don't know, this is gonna be nasty.
Yeah, like stop being dramatic and eat the damn crepe.
It's okay, they only eat American food.
Oh yeah, that is true. Oh, so next we get a little clip of Josie, who is going to cosmetology school.
Hell yeah.
Which is nice. Yeah, she talks a little bit about how she's going, and she was talking, I don't know, it was kind of weird when she was talking about it in this part, at least, because she was like, I can use this skill when I'm married and have kids. And it's like, or you could also like
open
do
a salon
things.
Or do like just do like only Christian ladies hair salon.
Yeah, they do get into that a little bit more later, but it was just like that's the first thing you think of is like, I want to learn to cut my hair so I can cut my kids' hair, and I'm like, you're like 17.
Yeah. It's so weird. And also this part was, she was saying something like, she's like, I'm really getting used to being by myself and being outside of the family. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably like a huge thing for the older girls who like never really got to like go out and do stuff. Like they were just like, here, real world, when they married.
Yeah, they talked a little bit about how like this is because for all of the kids, if they choose to go to college or do any type of like secondary education, like that's the first time they've had schooling outside of the house, and they're adults, and like especially the social aspect of it all is just very new and different to them.
They get to have friends who aren't just fundies.
Yeah, exactly. It's like completely new people, all different backgrounds. It's like I can see that being a very jarring experience.
It's wild, and like we all get that because we go to school.
Right, exactly. Like we're used to that from a young age.
Yeah, and they're like 18 years behind.
Rough indeed. So back in Chicago, Michael is helping the boys to decorate gingerbread houses, which is a January tradition for Michael. And it's really the biggest part of this is just Michael having to get after the boys to not eat the candy before decorating the house.
It's so funny because even the like older little boys were like, usually we do stuff like this at home, but then we don't have enough to decorate with by the time everyone's done snacking on the candy. And it's like, yes, so you see the purpose, and yet you still are snacking.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. She's like, once the things are made, you can eat them all you want, but just like, let's just get them made first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which seems reasonable to me.
Me too. But I guess for the little kids,
it's
they
hard.
have a hard time with impulse control.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course,
it's
Warden, the fucking soon to be, that kid is gonna murder someone or something. He just has no regrets.
No regrets, just pure chaos.
He's like the epitome of the like ask for forgiveness, not for permission kid.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Okay, so back to Josie. So she's doing Carlin's hair to practice a little bit after her first couple of days at school, and they talk a little bit about like Josie's plans with her education, and she says she probably will work in a salon after she graduates, but then she also for experience, but then she also says, but I can always use it for ministry too.
I know. Everything that they call ministry is just like anything vaguely related to church.
That's what it's like. What does that even mean? How can a haircut be ministry?
Like, I don't know. Maybe like cutting hair for weddings?
Only Christian weddings.
Only fundy weddings.
Exactly. It's just like, what is... I don't even know. It was just like such a weird sentence to say about a haircut.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know how you make hair Christ-like.
Christ-like hair.
Sorry, I'm not doing any cuts except for a shaved down side that says John 3:16. That's the only thing I offer.
Like doing like a buzz and then like cutting a little Jesus fish into it on either side. That's what I want.
Hell yeah. I want to get like Jesus shaves.
Hell yeah. Hell yes. Oh, so then we go back to Brandon and Michael, and they have written a book.
Oh my god. They have.
This was so weird.
It was so weird.
Weird. So they've, I guess, written a book, but they say they've written a book, but he was just speaking this story. So I don't know if they've actually written the book or if they just have
talked
plans
about
for the book. I don't know. But it's set during medieval times, and they are hoping they want it to be a children's book and maybe a children's book series. And so they decide that while the boys are there, they're going to like test it out on them.
Yep. And it does seem like they liked it.
Yeah, this reminded me, I think, of Brandon was talking about how he loves like the medieval times and everything, and just like hearing him talk about it and explain it to the kids reminded me of Ben Wyatt in Parks and Rec and his Cones of Dunshire. Like it's like the same type of energy. Just
Hell
like
yeah.
Chaotic nerd, nobody else is on your level, but we're just gonna pretend and go along with it.
I can definitely see Brandon bringing the book out at Christmas and be like, could a depressed person do this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They do like little coloring sheets together because of course Brandon has illustrated some of the parts of the story.
I mean, poor Brandon, that he got stuck in this fucking cult. He would have been like such a cute little animator.
I know. He's just very creative, which is refreshing to see in a fundy guy. Yeah. But yeah, it does feel like his creativity is a little wasted.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, cool. So you were like this creative artsy kid, and then I feel like there's some shit that went on for you being like too effeminate or too creative or too artsy. So then your parents were like, you're gonna go to school, and you're like, well, I'm gonna make it right, and I'm gonna become a preacher.
Right. Yeah. But I just like to draw.
Layers.
Yeah, I know.
Onions that make me cry.
So then to go along with the story, Brandon and Michael take the boys to medieval times, which I have been to this exact medieval times location.
How is it?
It was fun. I went with my ex-boyfriend, which was not fun, but it was a fun experience. Like it's exactly what it seems like. It's a dinner show, jousting. It's fun. I definitely it's a good activity for kids around their age too. So it was definitely a good thinking on their part. But the way that Brandon and Michael, or at least Brandon was talking about it, made it kind of seem like they go there like all the time. I'm
sure they do, honestly. I'm sure they like go have their fancy like date nights.
Which that I'm not quite as sold on. Like I went once and it was fun, but I probably would not go again unless I were going with like kids.
Yeah. Yeah, if it were like a
but
special occasion, like there was a bachelorette party in Vegas and you want
right.
to go to medieval times, okay. But it's not
Yeah.
like a Friday evening activity.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. It was just funny.
I don't know. The whole kind of end of this episode is just Michael being sad that she can't keep her family around forever, and Brandon being like, "Please, dear God, I want a quiet house again."
Yeah. This whole part just kind of made me, I don't know, sad for Michael. Like, I wonder how I don't know, I wonder how happy she is away from her family because she seems like so attached to them and always so happy to see them and sad to see them go that I'm just like a little worried for her. You know, like how happy is she in Chicago
and especially
away
because
from everyone?
she can't have babies of her own,
Right.
as far as anyone knows yet. Like, why can't
Must
she
be
just
lonely.
help raise someone else's kids or her siblings?
Right. I don't know. Okay, we have one more episode to talk about today, and it's ending on a high note, a new baby born, and love all around. How exciting.
I can't believe that they fucking snuck in I Love You Day on me.
They always do. They always have to bring back I Love You Day.
They
it's
really
the most
got
important holiday in the family, Gillian.
It is. It's a 3-day event. They are.
God.
It's so much. I don't know.
It's so much.
It's so extra. But I guess, February sucks, so why not?
That is true. It's very depressing, so might as well do something to bring you out of it.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
So before we get into I Love You Day, Kelly and the 5 younger boys head down to Florida. This is like days before the baby's going to be born, Alyssa's baby. And Alyssa talks about how she didn't find out who was coming until literally the day before, which is pretty inconsiderate. Though, to be fair, they're not staying with them. They're like, they have a house, which is good. Yeah. But still, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like you'd want, as a pregnant woman,
just
like
somebody
about to give birth.
Just give me a maximum head count.
Yeah. Just like, I need to be prepared.
Yeah.
Like, that would just be hard, I think, as somebody who is pregnant. Well, not just pregnant, but like about to burst.
Yeah, 9 months wants the baby to get the fuck out level pregnant.
Right.
Yeah. So they all like get settled in, and Kelly takes all of the kids back to the house. And then the next day, Alyssa and Kelly go for a little girls' day, and they talk about birth.
Of course they do talk about birth, because what else is there to talk about? But I mean, like, if you're about to give birth and you have your mom who has given birth 19 times, like, you're going to want to talk to that person, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it's just like nothing. Like, we're going to go have some ice cream and talk about our labor stories. It's exactly. Very funny to me.
Yeah, it is. But that is just like very normal for them. That's just how this family is.
Yep.
So yeah, Alyssa is planning on giving birth in a birthing center, which is better than giving birth at home. At least you're with professionals that can get you to a hospital if you need to.
You have monitors and somebody who can give you blood. Right. That's all you need.
Right.
You can get to the hospital for everything else.
Yeah. Kelly talks about how 14 of the Bates kids were born at home, which
I wonder which couch suffered. Which couch suffered?
Where's the birthing couch? Maybe it's in the storage thing that they wanted to set on fire. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, or it's in the back half of the house, the tiny original house.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know how to refer to their house. The first house, the second house is attached to.
The OG house. So then Alyssa and Kelly and baby Allie, she's not a baby anymore, go to a doctor's appointment at the birthing center that she's going to give birth at. And they listen to the heartbeat a little bit, and they're a little concerned because there's a little bit of a skip in the heartbeat, which isn't always a bad thing, but they just want to monitor it to make sure it's not something to be concerned about. So she gets monitored, but thankfully she's let loose and everything's okay.
Baby's just chilling. Baby's probably just feeling those fucking contractions.
Yeah, they're just kind of waiting on baby's timing. Whenever it happens, it happens.
This next part was the most chaotic thing for anyone to choose to do while awaiting a pregnancy.
I know. It's so Bates, too.
It's like so Bates. And it just
fits.
So many things could have gone wrong.
I know. Yeah. So Kelly talks about how she bought all of these basically Nerf guns on clearance for the family. And there's like tons of them and all of these Nerf bullets. And they decide they're going to have a battle while they're at this rental house waiting for Alyssa to go into labor, basically. Yeah. And the rules are if you're shot, you're out, and it's just pure chaos.
It is. And of course, Lawson cheats and lies.
Lawson cheats and lies about getting shot, even though like it literally was filmed that he was shot, and it's not like he could have missed it. He was shot like in his arm. It wasn't like he was shot in the back and didn't see it.
Like, or it hit like a shirt or something on the side, so we didn't feel it. Yeah, no, this man is just lying, and
he's just an ass.
It's just who he is. He'd rather beat a room of children by lying than let them win.
Yeah, that's the real thing, is like you're like literally the oldest, other than Gil, you're like one of the oldest people doing this, and you just need to get over yourself, dude.
Yeah, like let a 5-year-old win. It's not a reflection on you as a person if they beat you.
It really is not. So during all this chaos, Kelly gets a call from John saying that Alyssa is in labor and it's time for her and Gil to head to the birthing center to wait.
Which I love how sneaky Alyssa is, because this would be me if I had an overbearing mom like Kelly. Apparently Alyssa was already 6 centimeters dilated when she left the birthing center with Kelly.
She just didn't tell her. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like mad respect for Alyssa. I also loved when she was talking to Kelly earlier, when she was like talking about their birth plan, and she was like, and nobody else will be in the room. and which is like, yeah, like tell her. Then she was fine with it, obviously, but like that is a big thing for people.
God,
like
you tried telling Michelle that?
Yeah, hell no. And I get that too. Like if I ever give birth, the only person in the room with me, other than like the doctors who are helping, is the person who put me in that room to begin with.
And they may get kicked out. Yeah.
And honestly, that's fine.
Yeah, you gotta accept it. Sometimes, you just aren't letting your hand be squeezed hard enough, or whatever.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just gotta go. My dad passed out when I was born.
Nice.
Both me and my dad have the thing where if you see blood, we just go down. The vasovagal response. Yeah. So Dad just got shoved to the side by the nurses.
I did like, though. I like how I think Alyssa's the only one of the kids who we like don't see any of her labor really at all.
Yeah, she's like, nope.
Good. Like have your boundaries. Hold on to them. That's perfect.
Yeah, she's like, I mean, she already had moved out by the time that they agreed to the show.
Right.
So she had way more leverage to be like, no, I don't want any of these parts of my life filmed.
Yeah, definitely. So Gil and Kelly wait in the lobby, and while they're waiting, of course, they have to make a competition out of everything. So they have texting the family about when is the baby going to be born,
Which, you're waiting. I get it.
Yeah.
It's to pass the time, but
it's just classic Bates.
They said out loud, Lawson says 7:56, and the baby came at 7:20, and Lawson's like, "That's what I guessed."
Yeah, and then somebody's like, "No, you didn't."
Yeah, like,
fucking
sir,
hate Lawson.
Stop lying.
He's just so annoying too. It's like everything has to be about him, and it has to be like him winning everything, and it's like, dude, just fucking. There's so many of you. It's exhausting. Just stop.
It says way more about you that you can't lose, like a gracious loser, than that you win all the time. Like,
that you got to guess. Yeah, it says a lot more about that than like, oh, I actually guessed the time of this baby's born. Like, that's just a lucky guess. There's no strategy there.
That's fun. Here's $20. And then like, if you just be a human about it. Don't be like, no, I guess, sir, you're not special.
But Gil hears the baby cry in the lobby, which was kind of sweet. And so they know the baby's born. And then after they get cleaned up, John brings little baby Lexi May out to meet her grandparents.
She was very cute.
Very cute. Very cute. And it was a nice, very calm moment. But then, of course, the whole family comes to see the baby in the birthing center.
Yeah. Where
and
they view the baby and then leave.
Then leave promptly. And because it's a birthing center and not a hospital, they don't like stay overnight. They just go home when they're done. And so it's just like, I don't know.
You just had a major body event. Stay in the hospital.
I know. Just give me another day to rest at least.
Yeah.
So the next day, the family gives Alyssa and John some time to settle in, and then they come to their house and welcome the baby home. And it's a parade of Bates kids wanting to hold the baby and get their picture taken with the baby. But it was cute.
It was cute and very, like, organized. Like, the Duggar children do not have that level of put-togetherness. The Bates children were all, like, lined up. Like,
like an assembly line. It's like, that works. Whatever works. Just
just get those 17 kids through.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so back in Tennessee, the family is getting ready for I Love You Day, like we
I
said.
love you, Day.
And the theme of this year's I Love You Day is Down on the Farm.
Which is for Grandma Jane.
For Grandma Jane, whose birthday is like right before Valentine's Day. And some of the kids said they wanted a casual I Love You Day. So down on the farm it is.
Reasonable.
And apparently Kelly tried to buy a bunch of shit for this, and Gil made her return half of it, including a life-size cardboard cutout of a cow, which is disappointing.
It is. I would really love a life-size cardboard cutout of a cow. Man,
I feel like you
could
use it you could use that for many different things, but yeah, it's a tongue twister for sure.
Home security. I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's
So when
the
people
primary.
just see the cow, they're like, no.
Nope.
Not
fucking with this place. So, all the people are in town for I Love You Day because it's the biggest holiday for this family for some reason. And including Bobby's in, and Carlin's friend Evan is in, who we did get to meet in Special Friend. Yes, we did get to meet him in the skiing episode, but we really get to like talk to him this episode a little bit.
We get to see him be bullied in this episode.
Yeah, that's mostly it. So I guess Erin introduced Carlin and Evan, and so since she introduced them, Carlin and Evan go over to Erin and Chad's for dinner the first night that they're in.
Erin asks like really weird, invasive questions.
Erin, she just does not have a filter.
Is the thing that you have the problem with most in your relationship here in these early days? And it's like, first of all, no.
This is definitely not the first time that Erin has asked wildly inappropriate questions.
No, she uses those like big doe eyes and just asks you like invasive shit and makes it seem sweet.
But it's like, no, dude, leave me the fuck alone. Also, I just have to say, I feel like this might just be me thinking that like all brown-haired, tall white men look the same, but I feel like Evan and Bobby look exactly the same.
Yeah, I can't tell them apart. Even when they were standing next to each other, I couldn't figure out which one was which.
And they kind of all look like John, too. They all kind of look exactly the same.
Chad is the only one that looks different. And the rest of them are just kind of like nondescript, skinny white man.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to have trouble telling these people apart. I can already tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
But Carlin and Evan have been friends, special friends, for 5 months, and they don't have any type of like label on it, but they're just special friends.
They're just learning each other right now, which I hate when they say that about them. They're like, they're just learning each other, and I'm like, please stop.
What does that even? Yeah, I hate that. It's like
that's what dating's for.
Yeah, that's dating.
It's like seeing if somebody comes out and says like really horrible things, and you're like, bye.
But yeah, exactly. Or like seeing if you can get through a really horrible time of your life with somebody. That's what dating is for.
Yep. Yeah, afterwards, next day, all of the girls who are in town, the older girls, go and get petties.
Of course. And yeah, they do, of course, their normal girl talk about boys. They talk about Carlin and Evan, and who I guess Evan lives in Nashville and is a musician, which that scares me.
Especially, that just makes it even creepier that Carlin was singing duets with Lawson.
Ew, yeah.
Hate it.
I do hate that.
I do like that Evan could be a direct competitor to Lawson, though.
That is true. That is true.
I hope Evan beats Lawson.
Like, Lawson probably like fucking hates Evan under the
big time
under it all.
Yeah.
So then they ask Tori a little bit about things with Bobby, and Tori says she's getting married in May, and everyone's like, what the fuck? But it's like February and May and she's like, I didn't say this May, I just want to get married in May. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fair.
Yeah.
But she still claims like she wants to wait until after they're both graduated college to get married, which is a perfectly reasonable good thing to say and want to do. But I just think it's so annoying that all of her sisters all think it's like completely ridiculous that she's
like,
waiting.
Oh God, you'd wait another 3 months, but I guess if you don't get a kiss, like,
yeah, I guess, but it's just like they were acting like and it's like, guys, she's being like, she's actually being
the adult
here.
Yeah. She's making a good decision for her life and future to wait.
Right. Which, yeah, it's good because, like, I feel like the Bates, are, at least so far, have been so much better about actually, like, seeming to get to know each other before, or at least try to get to know each other before they know, like, actually have to get married, and taking some time and not just immediately going from, oh, I saw you at a church function, to, oh, we're getting married tomorrow within 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it's like, I think most of the girls who have been married have had courtships of over a year on this one.
Yeah, which is a lot longer than a lot of the Duggars have. They're usually a matter of months.
Yeah.
Which is,
thank goodness, I guess Gil has some sense, wants his girls to succeed, even if they don't theoretically have a job other than being a mom in the future.
Right. Yeah.
God, saying those sentences makes me cringe. I'm just like, ugh.
I know. I hate it. So all of the out-of-town couples are staying in a cabin in town while they're there. And so they're doing the traditional couples dinner, which is the day before I Love You Day, at the cabin.
Yep, we're on day 2 of this whole fucking event. Everyone gets in on day 1. Now we've got the couples dinner. Then we've got family dinner tomorrow.
Yeah. So the couples dinner is for married couples and just dating, courting couples. So Evan and Carlin and Bobby and Tori get to come as well. And Papa Bill and Mama Jane are also there.
Yeah. I don't know. This whole scene was just weird.
I hated this part so much because they had a scene after they had dinner where they were all like sitting in the living room talking. And then Kelly goes around and compliments the men in the relationship, but only the men. She goes around and says positive things about the husbands and the guys, does not say a positive thing about the women at all. Even if it's her own daughter, they still compliment the husband. It's just the whole relationship is the husband and whatever the husband's doing. And it's that really bothered me.
Hate that. Yeah, and I don't know, it was so gross. And like, if it had been followed up with like Gil being like, oh, and from my daughters I've learned in my relationship, like, these things and these things and these things, and that's what you've taught me. But he just started weeping and didn't really get to much.
Right. Well, and then like the things that Kelly was complimenting them on, she was like, I think she was talking about Bobby, and she was like, yeah, Tori will be like, I have a test, and then Bobby will check up on it, and it's like, that's like bottom line, like that's just like being a decent person. Like, I don't know, like the things you're complimenting them on are just like,
I know. The first one that she started with, well, Papa Bill, when I think of you, the word I think of is commitment, because you've been married so long. And it's like,
that
doesn't mean anything necessarily.
For real. Yeah, it made me very uncomfortable, that whole part. I really hated it.
Bad vibes. Yes. Also, the fact that Evan cut Carlin's steak for her.
Ew.
It was weird. Like, it was tough, and they were eating on like a bar, but like,
she's not a child. She can cut her steak.
And you could like move the plate in front of you if she needed help cutting it, not like cut it in front of her. I don't know. There's ways that it could have been done less weirdly.
Yeah, agreed.
Or like, go get her another knife. A different knife that cuts better.
Man. So then it's the big day, the main event for I Love You Day, which is the family party. And again, the theme is down on the farm, and so everyone's dressed up in their best flannel and overalls, and there's hay everywhere.
There's
and
fake
it's
beards,
just
which was hilarious.
It was pretty funny though. They talk a little bit, Kelly talks a little bit about why they chose the theme and that it was in honor of Mama Jane. And this part was actually so sweet. They give her this rocking chair that, of course, Chad made for Mama Jane. That was like signed by everyone, and they made her like a really nice scrapbook. And she was like so shocked and so happy. And I loved it because right after she looked at the scrapbook, she just said, "I don't ever want to die."
I know. She's like, "I want to stay and see you guys get old." And I'm like, "Oh, that's sweet." But also, I get you, Mama Jane. Like, she is my Bates family, like, person, the one that I'm most like, where it's like, I just want them to get the fuck out of my house. I'm gonna do a little cry, and also I don't want to die.
Yeah, and also I love my rocking chair.
Fuck yeah, love a good chair.
Oh yeah, that was the good part. I liked it. She seemed like so genuinely happy, and they did a really good job of making it special for her and what she would want, and so good for them.
Yeah, look at that. The Bates thinking of somebody else.
I know, right? So then after we shower Mama Jane with her praises and everything, we do some games.
Mm-hmm.
And so first up is a goddamn pig calling contest.
God.
That Mama Jane gets to judge.
Yeah,
it was
not
really
just
funny.
judge, but she gets to have the pig calls yelled at her specifically.
Right. She's the pig, I guess.
Yeah. I guess.
It was very interesting to see all the pig calls.
Yeah. The kids tried. Bobby did actually sound like an actual pig.
He did.
It was weird.
It was impressive, actually.
Yeah. And then of course Gil and Aaron were the only ones who actually knew how to call a pig with the
yeah,
thing.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
that lines up in my head. Yeah.
Next game was chicken coop game, which was so cute. This is like a cute all ages game of like you put little chickens in your little pouch and you have to get them out. You have your chicken coop. You have to get them out without touching your hands or touching the ground. So you just like jump and shake out these fucking chickens.
I was gonna say though, isn't that's like dangerously close to dancing?
It is. It's like almost hip thrusting even.
I feel like Jesus would not be okay with that.
I don't know. I feel like Jesus probably danced.
That's true. He probably did. No, I liked this game too. It was really cute.
It was.
Yeah, it was fun. And like you said, a good all ages game because those are hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Then
oh god,
Bobby snags Evan to go get fucking razzed by the older boys because they all have to threaten the new boy's life in their
with guns.
sisters.
Yeah.
They take guns out to go shooting, target shooting.
Yeah. And of course, everyone has a gun except for Evan and Bobby, the two boyfriends, and it's very like, oh, we're gonna shoot you, you know?
Yeah, it's like a very threatening aura,
which is great. And then, they talk about how apparently the older brothers and the other guys are just really mean to new guys when they come in, and it's just awful. And yeah, it sounds horrible.
I think Bobby's just really glad Evan is here now to
a
be
new
the
guy.
New baby.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I hated this part.
It sucked.
Yeah, there's really not much to say. It was just very much like gross,
dudes
like
being bros.
Dudes being bros, and like, oh, you like, which I understand being protective of people you love, but like,
you don't need to threaten them with guns. You can just like sit and look at them intimidatingly at the table and ask them
also, like
questions.
You don't need to be like that if they haven't given you a reason to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, I understand being threatening to somebody who has been threatening to your family member or whatever, but like, I don't know. I don't get the whole like you have to seem threatening up front.
It's got to protect their virtue.
For no reason.
They are fighting for their sister's hymens.
Ew. That's like, you need to get over your sister's hymen. That's the thing.
Yeah, please stop thinking about your sister's purity.
Yeah.
Or your daughter's
really not
purity.
Your business.
It doesn't matter. Purity is fake.
Truth.
She's not broken if she's had sex.
That's true.
She's
Good point,
broken
Jillian.
in the eyes of Jesus, though.
Damn it.
God damn it.
So finally, the siblings do their gift exchange, and this is the only time of year they do a gift exchange, which is kind of weird, but whatever.
Can't do Christmas presents because it's Jesus' birthday.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You only get Jesus gifts. I don't understand that, but it's so true.
Yeah. So they do like draw a sibling's name and get them a gift thing, and they do that, and it goes well. And then Michael and Brandon give everyone a gift, which is a little keychain that has a engraved handwritten letter that their dead grandfather had written before he died, obviously. And which was a really nice, sweet gift that everyone loved, and everyone cried. You know how they are.
Yeah. It was cute. It was a cute little gift. You know, again, very thoughtful. And then we finish up with the family photo, which Chad takes.
Yeah, of course.
Always.
Chad takes the photos. Chad makes the rocking chairs. Chad does it all.
I literally, when the first time Chad came on screen during these episodes while Chris was watching, I was like, that's the man that holds this family together.
He's the glue. He's the glue.
He's the only one who can do fucking anything.
That is the truth. They would fall apart without him.
Yeah. He literally, like, holds the baits in his hands.
God, the amount of pressure that man must be under. Poor Chad.
And he's got, like, 3 kids and a baby. Or 3 kids and a dog.
4 kids, I think.
4 kids and a dog.
He has 4 kids, a dog, and a baby on the way, I think.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, too much. Too
so
much going on. But yeah, I think that brings us to a close for season 5 of Bringing Up Bates. We did it.
We did it, guys. I think we're going to do Plathville next week.
Yeah, we're going to catch up on Plathville. I think there's like 4 episodes of that out now, so we'll do that for next week. And then actually, this is a good time to ask for some input because we also have a new season of The Circle that just started that we can also cover. So let us know if we're definitely going to do Plaths probably next week, but let us know if you'd rather us keep going with the Bates, if you want us to do The Circle. If you have any input on that at all, or if you have anything to say about this episode, feel free to send us an email at tvliterate@gmail.com.
And you can find us everywhere on the internet at tvliterate. And we're on Tumblr, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, everywhere. If you can be social on it, we're social on it. We also have a Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/tvliterate. And if you want to give us $1 or $2 to help us with our hosting costs, that'd be awesome.
Yes, we would really appreciate it. Also, we would really appreciate it if you could leave us a review and tell any of your friends about us because we'd love to have more of you guys.
Yeah.
And we will be back next week with another episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.